Hey guys, what's going on? It is Friday, September 8th, and I had posted earlier today on Facebook that I was a little hesitant about posting any updates this week because of the state of the world and the state of this country in particular, with all the fires and the hurricanes and all the tragedy that's been going on here, and or now earthquakes and all the craziness. And um, But the past few days, I've gotten so many messages from people like, I know you were going to the doctor and you're waiting for your treatment plan and what's going on. And it's to the point I haven't even answered most of the messages because there's so many of them. I feel bad. So if you wrote me a message, I'm thinking about you, and I probably did read it, and I will get to answering it soon. It's just been a little busy this week, but we had the start of school and doctor's appointments and whatnot. But so I was a little bit hesitant about posting, but then so today I posted, what do you guys think? Should I post? And everybody was like, listen, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. You still have stuff going on and we want to hear about you. So thank you for that. So here's my live update of the week. So yeah, I did go to the doctor yesterday and I was expecting my test results to come back Tuesday, which they did, but I didn't get a chance to really go into the doctor's office until yesterday. And that's really because most of my test results have fallen into what is called the gray area. And it's not the best place to be. I'm not going to lie to you. It's weird because you certainly don't want to be like in the high area, right? And you don't want to be worried about that. But the gray area is kind of a weird place. What I've really learned, let me back up for a minute and tell you a little bit about treatment and educate a little bit, because I didn't know any of this until I had cancer. But one of the there's different types of treatment for cancer. Let's start with that. There's treatment before surgery. There is surgery. There's just regular treatment. There's treatment after surgery. There's all different options for people. So with breast cancer, and again, I'm not a doctor. I just want to put that little asterisk there. But what I have found is most people either, if they need surgery, will have treatment before, which would include a chemotherapy, let's say, that would shrink a tumor and make it operable. Or in a situation like mine, I already had surgery, so technically I don't have cancer anymore. I'm going to put a little asterisk there. We'll talk about that in a second. But so I don't need treatment for a tumor necessarily. What I need treatment for is in case any of the cells escaped my breast before I had surgery. And even though I had clear lymph nodes, it doesn't mean that there's not other ways for the cells to escape. They can escape through other nodes, they can escape through blood, they can just detach themselves in any way and just kind of make their way through the body. So the treatment that I'm getting now is not for the tumor, it's for prevention of getting cancer again in the future. So that's what I'm treating. And now I cannot have radiation, or I'm not a candidate for radiation, which is more of a pinpoint treatment, but I am a candidate for chemotherapy, which is more of a full body treatment. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill any cells that might have escaped. In addition to chemotherapy, I will be having some sort of hormone inhibitors after my chemotherapy for 10 years. And that usually comes in the form of tamoxifen. Some of you may have heard this. And it's just a pill that you take every day for 10 years, and it blocks the estrogen and progesterone from reaching any cells that feed off of that. There's other options that they're considering as well. Sometimes they put a woman into menopause and give her a stronger hormone inhibitor. They're considering that for me as well, but we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. So for now, I do need chemotherapy. I need chemotherapy called CMF. It stands for these fancy names for the three different medications that I'm getting. I'm not going to tell you what the names are because I do not know. I need 8 rounds of chemotherapy over 16 weeks. So for the next 4 months, I will be having chemo. Heather asked why I'm not a candidate for radiation. And really, I'm not a candidate for radiation because I have no breast tissue, and it wasn't touching my muscle. And there's all sorts of things that they put into making these decisions. And so for me, the only factor that may make me a candidate for radiation was the fact that my tumor was very large. But from what the radiation oncologist said was that was not a good enough reason to make a decision alone that I need radiation. So there's really nothing to radiate. I have no breast tissue left, and it wasn't touching my muscle. If it was touching my muscle, they would have radiated my muscle. But none of that happened, so I don't have to worry about that. So the chemotherapy, I know the first question I'm going to get is what are you going to do about your hair? Let me just say this. On my chemotherapy, patients don't typically lose their hair. Their hair thins. Most patients lose 25 to 30% of their hair. Some patients lose up to 50% of their hair, and some patients lose 100% of their hair. They didn't seem too concerned about me because I have so much hair. However, I am 99% sure that I'm going to be trying something called cold caps. And cold caps are basically like a helmet that you wear that's hooked up to a machine, or that they fill with dry ice. It depends. There's a couple different ways to do it. And what it does is it basically, sorry, it's hard for me to move my arm still. It essentially freezes your scalp. And what it's doing is it's shutting down the blood and whatnot to the scalp. And so what's happening is when you have chemotherapy, it's actually not reaching the scalp. So the theory behind that is if it doesn't reach the scalp, you're not going to lose your hair. So the chemotherapy will be through all of my body except for my scalp. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try. And we're going to keep fingers crossed that it will work because I'm like going back and forth about it, and a little part of me is like, oh, it's just hair. Who cares? It grows back. But here's the thing. I've lost so much control over everything already that I kind of feel like this was the only thing that I have control over. And there's a lot of things that are annoying about it. It's uncomfortable to wear. It's extremely expensive to do. But the thing is that I really just feel like it's one of the only things I have control over right now. And so if I can have control over it, why wouldn't I? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not happy about chemo. It's funny because somebody asked me today, like, are you sleeping? Are you taking anything to sleep? And I was like, I'm not really sleeping. And the doctor prescribed me something, but I don't want to take it because I don't like putting medication in my body. And as I wrote it, I'm laughing. I'm thinking, geez, is this like even like in a week, I'm going to be pumped up with poison, you know? So it's very hard for me to accept. And I had a very emotional day yesterday. I cried hysterically when they told me I needed chemo. I pretty much cried all night. When no one was looking. I'm trying to like stay strong in front of my kids and my husband, but it sucks. And I'm going to tell you why it sucks. It doesn't suck because I need treatment, because for that part of it, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that I can have treatment. I'm grateful that and my insurance covers it, and that I can afford to get these cold caps, and that I have the kind of life where I can have people with me, and friends and family have all said to me, I'll take a day off work, I'll do whatever, I'll go and I'll sit with you, and all of that. So I do still feel very grateful, and I still feel very positive that I'm going to try to get as much of whatever's in my body out. But there's like this weird, it's funny that they say I'm in a gray area, because I feel like I'm in a gray area, like in my life right now. And that gray area is that in a way I still feel good and I still feel healthy, and I'm starting to get movement back in my arms, and the pain is lessening a little here and there in my chest. And everybody keeps saying to me, you need to go out, you need to live life, you need to have fun and do the things that make you happy. And the problem is right now, and I'm going to get emotional, and I'm sorry, I'm just warning you. The problem for me right now is that the things that I want to be doing, I can't do because of chemo. And it makes me very angry. So when somebody says, do something that makes you happy, here's what makes you happy. Here's what makes me happy. What makes me happy is going out and teaching photography and meeting people and meeting clients and empowering women and traveling and seeing new parts of the world and being an explorer. And all of that is off the table right now. And there's other things that make me happy. My family makes me happy. I have to start chemo the day of my son's birthday, which pisses me off because I'm probably only going to see him for like an hour on his birthday. And I just really am angry about that. Like I have a lot of anger about that. I had to cancel a few speaking jobs and teaching jobs and clients this week. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pissed about it. And here's the thing for all of you photographers out there, I am scared to death of losing my career over this. And I know that there's a lot of support out there, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, you're gonna be supported, and we'll have you back, and we love you." But guess what? I know that that's not how this industry works. This industry is a fly-by-night industry, and the second you lose momentum in this industry, and the second you lose face time with people, I just know that things are just not the same. Now, I just want to say something here. Um, I know that I can still empower women and I can still do what I love from my house, and I plan on doing that in every single way possible. I have some ideas and I have some things that I'm going to work on as long as I have the energy and the interest, I guess, because right now it's a little bit hard to find interest in certain things. Um, so I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on life. I'm not giving up on my career. I'm not giving up on all the things I love. But it's just very difficult when people say, go and do the things that love and that make you happy. I want to go do those things, but I can't right now. I'm stuck here right now as far as my treatment is concerned, not like with my family, but I'm stuck here as far as my treatment is concerned. I'm still not feeling 100%. It's very hard to do physical things. You know what I love? I love the gym. I love going to the gym. And I went the other day and I couldn't do shit. I really couldn't do almost anything. Um, but I didn't care. I was just there. I was just there to smell the gym air and just be out of the house and feel like a normal person that just does normal things and have a normal day of my life. But nothing is normal. So it's frustrating and it's aggravating, and there are things that I know. There are things I know. I know it's only temporary. I know it can be worse. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm going to be okay. I know all of these things logically. Um, but like when people say to you, it's just temporary, or you'll get over this, or you'll look back at it one day and laugh. I know that they're trying to say to me, and I know some of you are saying it now, and I do appreciate it. And I know people are trying to make me feel better. But sometimes when you're in the thick of it, um, it doesn't matter if it's temporary. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe it is temporary. You know what? I resisted doing this because of the hurricanes, but let me use a hurricane as an analogy, right? A hurricane is temporary. When you're in it, it's really scary. You know it's going to be over at some point, but when it's over, what does your world look like? You know? Right now, my life is like a hurricane, and I know it's only temporary and it's going to be okay. And at the end, it will be fine. But what is my life going to look like at the end? And what am I going to look like at the end? Because this is completely changing me as a person. So what does that look like at the end? And I just don't know. And so right now, that's the gray area that my life is in. Wanting to do things, wanting to get out there, wanting to empower women, wanting to make more of my life. And I feel like I have a ball and chain, and it's frustrating. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I just, I've made, like, I am so lucky. I have made so many new friends through this process that are also fighting cancer. And, I see it from all different perspectives, and I see what they're going through and what I'm going through. And sometimes my shit's worse and sometimes their shit's worse. But it is an upheaval of life right now. And, that's hard sometimes. Yeah, it's hard right now. So that's the answer, you guys. I do need chemo. And by the way, because I know some people are going to ask, like, for those of you out there that know what an Oncotype score is, which is basically just rating it's basically rating the percentage of reoccurrence. So because I'm in that gray area, I have a higher rate of reoccurrence than somebody that might be in a lower area. And so what they're trying to do is give me all this treatment to try to get it down to 10%, so that my rate of reoccurrence would only be 10%, which I would like to say is a 90% chance I will never have cancer again, because that sounds way more positive. So they don't want to undertreat me. Like, essentially, so my score was a 19, by the way. So like from 1 to 18, typically you don't get any chemo. And from 19 to 29 is that gray area. And from 30 and above is a high area where you definitely get chemo. So I fall 1 point into that intermediate area. So I was like, oh, there's got to be another option. There's got to be something we can do. But it's not the only thing that they use to make a decision. They make a decision based on a lot of things, on the aggressiveness of the cancer, on the type of cancer, on my age, there's a test where they measure like the how I'm just going to say it like in layman's terms, like how basically messed up your cells are. Are they a little messed up? Not so messed up? I'm also in the intermediate area in that. So because I'm falling into the intermediate area for a lot of things, they don't want to undertreat me, which is why they've chosen to go with chemotherapy. And I had a team of 5 doctors come up with this decision at Memorial Sloan Kettering. So shout out to them for helping me through this process. So I do trust them, and I believe it's the right thing to do. I am going to ask you guys kindly, please do not private message me with how awful chemotherapy is and how, it's poison and how it's a joke and how I should be getting some sort of alternate treatment. I don't want to hear it right now. I'm just being honest with you. I know that chemotherapy is what I need right now. I believe that it's the right thing to do. And I'm the first person to use essential oils and holistic medicine and whatnot in my entire life. I've done it a ton of times. This is not the time for it for me right now. Okay. And if you believe that that works and it's important to avoid chemo, I honor your and respect your opinion, but I'm not in that place right now to try some alternate medicine. This is where I need to be right now. So I just want to kind of put that out there. Brian, I will be having a PET scan next week. Again, I resist talking about certain things I don't want to put energy into, but I will be having a PET scan next week, and just hopefully it'll all be okay. I guess that's it. That's my update. Thank you for those of you that are supporting me through this, and I know it'll be okay. I get so angry. I've worked 9 years to build up this business of mine and to try to get myself out there, and I'm still working on it, and it just feels like, boom, the world is just shut down for me right now, and that sucks. So here's the other thing. Hey, anybody out there in the photography industry that loves me and you like to work together and I could do something from home, I'm here. So I hope to see some of your faces soon. I am hoping, by the way, to for all the photographers in the area to get to PP, to at least visit some people and say hi and see some familiar faces. I'm hoping that will work out. So that's it. And as usual, you guys, I love hearing from you. And if you have any questions, comments, anything about cancer or anything else, I know that some people have written back to me or written to me a lot about struggles that they're going through, or if there's any women out there that are looking for empowerment tools or anything, anybody that I can help, I'm here. And I'm not a sit at home and watch TV kind of a person, so this is also making me a little crazy. But I'm here, and I love, and I wish you all the best. And for everybody that is in the path of Irma, I just want to send my love and my prayers that you are safe. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I am going to spend as much of it cuddling my family as possible, and I hope that you do too. Have a good day, guys.